Alright. Hello, YouTube. Ignore the fact that my hair is an absolute fucking mess. I got out of the shower not too long ago and I haven't fucking brushed it. What the fuck ever. So, I just want to talk about some shit that is going on lately. With me anyways. You guys get the rest of your news for the rest of the fucking world, man. It's not what I'm here for. I want to start with some music I was been listening to. It was recommended to me, even though I'm not a huge fan of grunge or alternative rock. But these guys are pretty good. Unfortunately, they only have one album, and that is this album by Mother Love Bone. Let's see. Oh, I actually have a Zeppelin album in there right now. Ignore that. From my understanding, these guys are like proto-grunge, kind of proto-alternative rock. Two of them after their singer's death, which happened right before the album dropped. Went on to form Pearl Jam. I can tell you which two they were right now. I don't really feel like looking. But I found it really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I found the music more or less relaxing, I'd say. Definitely worth a listen to, even if you don't like grunge. It's only one album they've made, so worth checking them out. I say so anyways, but what the fuck do I know? Then musical-wise, and the rest of my musical world-wise, I have another album on order. I'm actually surprised that one came in first. And that is an album by Dark Throne, and something beneath a Infernal Moon, I think. It's their third album. I'm waiting for that to show up because I really want to listen to it because I've enjoyed the stuff off of it. And I've enjoyed them generally pretty good for the most part. I've also been listening to, along those lines, Bathory and Burzum. On the Bathory front, I've also enjoyed their Viking metal stuff because I like that anyways. So, there's that. Gaming-wise, there is some stuff a couple of Platinum books I wanted to review, but I haven't really flipped through them yet, and I don't really use most of the Platinum setting information that comes from their books. I like to, other than it's riffed, I like to steal all the stuff in it for riffs. I love riffs. Terrible mechanics. Not gonna lie, they're fucking bad. But I love the game. It's a giant kitchen sink of 80s stuff. Oh, there's a dog ear back there. I think we have an audience. That's that dog. It's my little girl. Come here, Furball. Come here. Come here, kitty. Come say hi to the people. Come here. Rawr. Yeah. It's my Furball. This is Sarah. Furball, Fuzzbutt, the asshole, hey you, and what the fuck do you think you're doing? That's her name. There's another dog around here too, but he's old and doesn't like doing much. Where are you at, Jackers? He's over there lying by my front door. Yeah, no, Riffs is just a setting made out of, oh, fuck, getting ashes all over my goddamn plaything. You know what, I'm just gonna move that fucker. Out of the way. And it's just made out of awesome. I really enjoy it. And rules-wise, yeah, the rules are kind of clunky and bad, but they're very much in that old school vein. If something doesn't make sense, then you just fucking fix it yourself. Or come up with your own rules. Shit, they got rules scattered all over the place throughout multiple supplements. Shit that should, frankly, be in the core rulebook. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it. Setting-wise stuff I kind of have from... I have Riffs. I have TMNT. Heroes Unlimited. Couple editions of their fantasy game, the Platinum Fantasy RPG. And I recently just picked up the Nightbane and Splicer's core rule books, which... Splicers is still a mega damage system, so it plops real easy like in the rips. Some of the Platinum Fantasy stuff doesn't. Usually the older stuff doesn't meld too well. But, yeah, what the fuck do I care? It just takes a little bit of work. And they did a giant conversion book for all their stuff. So, if you play riffs and you want to use a bunch of the other platinum material, get, even if it's the original conversion book, because they only did one originally, and then they split it in like 2 or 3 more books, I think. I want to say 2, maybe 3. Don't quote me. I don't remember. I'm old. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. Friday, I picked up all of the Challengers decks. Oh, let's turn that right side up. From Wizards. Normally I wouldn't buy Wizard stuff, but I often end up with Friday off, like every other week. Don't really play Standard. Don't really care to keep up with it too much. So these are just a way for me to have something that I can grab, go, and have a couple hours of fun. That's all I care about. And if that's all you care about, these are, or you're a brand new player and kind of want to just get into it, these are a good place to start. Deck-wise, frankly, I don't really recommend the Second Sun Control. And being as old of a player as I am, I started with Ice Age, and I've pretty much played Control or Combo my entire existence in Magic. It's bad. It would have been a lot better if they'd put some actual hard counters in the deck. It just doesn't look like it functions the way it really should. And from some of the other YouTubers I've seen who've done plays with it, it really shows. A skilled player should be able to do all right with it, even if they're not like a top-notch control player. But you're going to take a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge as a control player to make that deck work decently, as is. I would definitely suggest not probably buying it unless there's some stuff in there you really gotta have. Other things I suggest, definitely don't pay the scalper prices on the Hazard deck. That thing is shut down by simple life gain. I watched one streamer play it, I don't remember who, and he had a very hard time with the deck against some very basic life gain that appears to be available in the standard format. I don't follow the standard format, so there's that. But the one I really like, I love the, which one is it here? Ah, yeah, this one. This one, the Counter Surge deck. I've really enjoyed the gameplay I've seen with it. I kind of like the way it works. I know it's not top notch from what others said. Again, I don't follow standard, so it's me. The vehicle deck doesn't seem to be too bad either. I frankly don't really like vehicles. Oh, that one's not empty. But you, ha! I don't really like vehicles. I frankly think they're kind of dumb. And I agree with Perp, formerly MTG Purple. Ha! Perp! The artist, formerly known as MTG Purple. I agree with him. They don't, at least the way they were initially presented as trains, planes, and automobiles, yeah, just fuck no. Just no. It's dumb. Let's see, what else did I fucking want to talk about? Oh, yeah. One of my biggest gripes with Magic, and it's been this way, I want to say, since the Weatherlight expansion for Mirage came out. That was the big point where I really noticed they shifted to having a much more in-your-face story, not backstory. The Urza stuff prior to that, prior to Ice Age and Mirage, was all background. And you definitely felt like what the game was supposed to be, and that was supposed to be you are a powerful planeswalker. And because you're a powerful planeswalker, you go from plane to plane, from place to place, gathering new magics, new creatures, ancient magical items, things like that. And it really had that sense when you popped a pack open of, oh, cool, this will go great in my deck. You just built something and fucking went with it. What the fuck's my lighter? Right there. Then Then they came out with the Weatherlight storyline. I remember reading about it, an interview with one of the guys there. I want to say it was either in an issue of Scry or an issue of Inquest they were talking about. I don't really remember. This was a very, very long time ago. And I was quite young. And then it just went on that way, but it never felt like, story-wise, that, yeah, the other characters were kind of front and center, but it still felt like you were still kind of wandering the plains, and it mattered that you were still a planeswalker, running into and dealing with other planeswalkers. Some of the sets were better at this than others, and the farther it got into it, the worse it got, and you felt less like you were role-playing as a powerful wizard, which I really liked. I'm a massive geek. Love Dungeons and Dragons and other generally fantasy role-playing games. Although I do enjoy some good sci-fi ones too from time to time. And it really truly hit home for me when they came out with the Planeswalkers, which I want to say was the Lorwyn block. Somewhere in there, it's kind of when they came out with it. That's what I remember anyways. I remember it kind of being Lorwyn block. And that's when you stopped being Planeswalker. You just started following this band of fucking Mary Sues around. Stories were terrible. I will say this, at least the Weatherlight Saga was good. And we got with Urza's block involved in there, oh, that was so much cool story. And then that kind of went back to you being a bit of a Planeswalker, with the Planes having a story all their own, like Ice Age and Mirage did. But the Planeswalkers weren't there, and they were short stories, which I liked. And we kind of started getting that with Odyssey block. Then they moved on to Onslaught. Ugh, fuck that set. I fucking hate Onslaught. It is one of these sets I absolutely hate the most. The other being Kamigawa. Fuck Kamigawa. Wasn't a huge fan of Mirrodin either. I haven't been a huge fan of anything in Magic for a long time. Ravnica block the original Ravnica block was a lot of fun. I loved that to death. Let's see, what else was I going to fucking talk about? Oh, yeah. Another role-playing game I saw that I wanted to talk about, and this ties back into the music I was listening to, because when I was doing some rooting around, and I kind of noticed, what is it, Ed? What is it? Did you hear something? No? Alright. Good girl, aren't you? Yeah. Where was? Oh, yeah. I was looking at like Burzum and stuff, and then I found, ooh, Kitty. She's gonna be obnoxious. She's always obnoxious. Burzum, the guy from Burzum, Varb Vickers, I think. He's also now kind of YouTube vlogger, and started watching him, and I kind of known a little about him, as Thulian perspective, but I didn't necessarily realize they were talking about that Varg from Burzum that killed a dude. And he wrote a role-playing game. I don't know when it came out originally, but sometime in the last, I'd say probably decade or so, called My Frog. Looks interesting. Not going to be something I'm going to be using for my upcoming game, which I'm using Pathfinder for, but I do plan on getting it. It looks very much that old school feel, because I really do still love playing 1st and 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons. And in fact, I got my start with 2nd edition right around the time I started playing Magic, so. And that quickly added in some stuff from Beckme, Dungeons & Dragons. I have the 2 earlier books that are Hole Punch that have like everything in them, the basic and expert rules. I've got those. And then I picked up the red book, like the red box basic stuff too, around that time from a used bookstore. as well as, because I couldn't find the expert books, strangely enough. And I managed to pick up the companions. So I've got basic, expert, and companion. What are you doing, cat? Oh, my cat's fucking weird. They're all weird. I don't even like cats that much, but yet I own a cat. I'm a dog person. I still want to either hunt down and get a copy of the Rules Cyclopedia, which I've seen to be kind of expensive places. I haven't been able to find it cheaply. And what the fuck, cat? Oh, my cat's fucking weird. What can I say? And if I can't get that, I do want to keep a lookout for the Master Rules set and the Immortal Rules set to expand it. So I have all the rules for it. At least in some form or another. I'd prefer the Cyclopedia just so I have it all in one book. I kind of collect D&D stuff. Oh, what the fuck else was I going to talk about? Something else I was going to talk about, but I can't fucking remember right now. Oh, shit, yeah, I remember. This weekend, I'm going to go see Judas Priest and Saxon play. That's kind of why I'm making this before I leave, because I'm really bad about uploading shit. As you can tell, I have 2 videos. They're from a little over a week ago. And they're short as fuck. Holy shit, this is going to be longer than I've ever done. But that's, what can I say? Not bad. I know, I say a lot. And I forget what the fuck I'm doing. I ramble. And so this has been Rambling with Dread Fireworm. Ah! I'm a massive dork. Ah, shit, you know what? Fuck, I ain't got anything better to do other than get some laundry and make... What the fuck, cat? My cat has a wild hair up her ass. Notice pretty much all cats I've ever had the pleasure of owning. They all get wild hairs up their ass and just do stuff, and they make you go, what the fuck? But let's talk about the campaign I'm getting ready to run. So I'm getting ready as soon as we finish up with this current storyline in the campaign I'm playing in, which is a 3-5 game. And we've all got multiple characters. Well, not all of us. One guy's running like 3, I've got 2. One of my buddies is running 2, and everybody else seems to be running 1, but they're the people that aren't always there all the time. And once we finish that up, I plan on starting mine, which I'm kind of basing off of Prussia, Germany, Austria, and as one large empire in like the late Renaissance, so like 1650 to 1700, so maybe the early 18th century, technology-wise and kind of societal-wise. Be all human, and it's mostly going to be based off of Gothic horror, old German fairy tales, and everybody's human. Humans, I like calling them humans. But everyone's going to be human. There are none of the general fantasy races. I'll have them there, but they're going to be fey creatures like they were in old fairy tales. And to this end, I'm cutting out some of the classes. I'm doing a massive change to the way magic works. There's no divine magic except the Oracle class. And there's supposed to be a very, very rare thing. But all the magic's arcane. And I've cut a few of the classes that basically don't use the Druid, the Cleric Oracle list, or the Sorcerer Wizard list, or the Witches list. And any of those classes can learn spells from the other ones. But the players have to find someone to teach it to it, or capture a spell book. And the version of the spell you pick up will be different than another classes, depending on what class the spellbook comes from. So I'm hoping my players are going to enjoy it. There'll be a lot of guns. And there's some other stuff I need to figure out, because armor's not going to be something that's going to be very common. And I might steal some stuff from the Wheel of Time role-playing game, which is also D20, which is, they have a defense adjustment because a lot of characters don't wear armor. So I might steal that and work it in somehow, depending on what kind of armor the class is normally available with. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Pink Pony, my mascot. She got a new pin the other day. The one she had on originally, I picked up at a local store. It was Nightmare on Elm Street, one of my absolute favorite movies. I love old slasher flicks. And the one I got her the other day was this one here, and it looks like it's mirrored on there, so that's going to be hard to read. It's Counting the 10 only makes it premeditated. I thought it was fucking hilarious, so I got it for her. And once I get my battle vest started with my metal patches and shit, and I got a big old Slayer one to stick on the back of it, I'm going to make her a little metal vest too. I think I talked about this a little bit in my first video. Yeah, and I'm going to use like band pins and shit for patches on it. And I want to get a regular patch as like a back patch for it. So I think she's going to be a black metalhead. I think. Maybe. Maybe Doom. I haven't decided yet. Hey, look, there's my cat again. What the hell are you doing, Fussbutt? You've been over there like 3 times now. Fucking weird ass cat. Anyways, that's about it. Rock on, motherfuckers. Hey, say bye, Ed. Bye, everybody.